Hey, welcome back to the channel for yet another episode of Growing with the Grovers. Let me pause really quick because there's a few things that I want to share with you, and sometimes I get ahead of myself and I totally lose all train of thought. Normally, Ayla's shift ends around 7 a.m., but today we had to stay behind to put in a little bit of overtime because the frothy foamer is in serious need of a deep clean. I don't know who in the what decided to basically rage out in the bathrooms, but both bathrooms are absolutely trashed, and even the kitchen is looking really freaking gross, and I'm not trying to have the health department called, so we definitely need to wipe down these counters stat. Now, up until this point, the frothy foamer was essentially like a fictional place. It didn't exist, but I had the wild idea to make the frothy foamer a real life location. So this is what I slapped together. I do have a speed build up on the channel, and I've also gone ahead and put this build on the gallery of Gen 2 606, just in case maybe you wanted to place the frothy in your game. So we are currently talking to our coworker, Jonathan Mead. Y'all have heard me gush and goosh all about this man. He's Ayla's work crush essentially, and she just feels in her heart he is way beyond her league, even though he is probably one of the most humble, down-to-earth dudes you will ever come across. For whatever reason, she gets the jitters every time she is next to him. And no, it isn't the cappuccino that she always drinks on her shift. But anyways, that's enough talking to Jonathan. I'm gonna have her come into the bathroom and she's gonna clean up the toilet. We're also gonna give the sink a quick little scrub here. I will also get back here behind the counter and clean up the sink that's also behind here. See, this is why this place is a freaking mess. Barb, get it together. She's over here spilling coffee grounds. Foam is flying everywhere. I'm not gonna lie, y'all should see Ayla behind the bar. This is why I really think, even though she loves being a barista, it's just not the career path for her. And so in the last video, I asked you guys for some help steering my girl in the right direction. A lot of you guys gave me so many great ideas, but Bez got class said Ayla could go to college to pursue journalism, with writing being her side hustle. And you know, working at the frothy, this place has definitely inspired Ayla to pursue what her dream is, and that is to be a writer of some kind. Journalism isn't something she really thought of actually, but it would be really interesting to see her dabble in it. Maybe it's something she has thought about, but again, just thought was like too out of her reach. I'm noticing a theme here. Ayla just kind of puts herself down. I don't know why. She thinks oh my god, I don't want to tell you. Okay, I'll tell you in a second. So she thinks Jonathan's out of her league. She thinks like her dream career is out of her league, becoming an author. Like, the girl really needs to start believing in herself, because she is truly capable of so much more than she gives herself credit for. Now, on that note, I'm about to be a little Debbie Downer, and this is just pure like speculation, but I have a feeling, a slight little hunch, that Jonathan Mead and Sheena have a little secret something happening between them. Obviously, poor Ayla is completely and utterly unaware of the fact that there might be something between them. I don't know if it's true or not, or maybe, again, it's just me kind of like reading into things. So our shift is officially over. We stood 3 extra hours, so I'm gonna give Ayla like $40 for every extra hour. And of course, okay, there's another spot we have to clean, so maybe actually by the time we get out of here, it won't even be until 11. But the reason why Ayla is so anxious to get home is because she wants to check and see if maybe her scholarships got approved. So I'm gonna have her change out of this apron, and after 3.5 hours of much needed overtime, finally go home. When Ayla walked in, she found Kyle playing on the floor with Jacob, and it just made her heart feel so warm and fuzzy inside. It also brought a little bit of sadness, simply because she really does wish that Jacob had this type of relationship with his father, although at least he has a very strong grandfather figure. And it also looks like Kyle might be filling in some type of void, even though I don't want to say that because it will never replace Eric. We did get a sentiment, and it says, "You make my day so much better. Thank you for making me smile." Oh my god, I think Kyle might be getting attached to the little guy after all. He wants to do tummy time with him. Oh my god, Ayla has missed him so freaking much. Hi Jakey, how are you? Oh, thank you Kyle for watching him. I had to stay a little bit later today. The cafe was a literal mess. Speaking of which, I didn't even give Ayla her money. I was meaning to like calculate it, but I think it's like 4.5 hours. So like, we'll just say 160 simoleons. It probably is more because my math sucks, but we'll just say 160. And hey, if it's too much, whatever, I'm not going to worry about it, but we'll add that in, bringing our household funds to 958 simoleons. So we're going to put Jacob back on the floor mat. Kyle did want to do tummy time, and we're going to go on the computer just to see if maybe we heard a word back on the scholarship. So let's do a little tummy time. Hopefully Ayla doesn't interrupt that, and we'll have her go run over here really quick and sit down. I'm so nervous, you guys. I don't know if university is the right answer. I know it takes up so much time, and y'all were like, she'll be fine if she only, like, you know, enrolls in 2 classes. Let's check our scholarship applications. Fingers crossed we heard some good news. Ayla's scholarship status is still pending. How long does this freaking take? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So roll over to back milestone unlocked. Ayla is over here kind of feeling a little bummed right now because she didn't get a word back yet. However, Kyle is in the living room jumping for absolute freaking joy because he just taught Jacob how to roll over to his back. And in the heat of the moment, Ayla runs up to Kyle and gives him the biggest hug ever and tells him what an amazing job he's been doing with Jacob. And for some reason, that just means so much to Kyle because he never really saw himself as someone that would have a positive impact on another person. It's weird. He has his own complexes to work out. Oh, how sweet. Kyle really appreciated receiving such kind affection from Ayla just now. That affection made him feel extra special. Does that mean that Kyle particularly likes affection? Maybe he isn't a super affectionate person, but something about this family is turning him into a softie. I'm gonna have Ayla finish taking out the trash. I really did want Kyle to maybe look up some jobs. It was funny because you guys were saying how you could see Kyle becoming like a lifeguard. I know specifically Roxy said that they could see maybe Kyle just doing odd jobs to make ends meet, or maybe he could become a lifeguard. So we needed to do something. And even though he just wants to party in the living room all the time, 24/7, we really do need to start being a little more serious with our choices. So we're gonna see if it is possible. And I love how he's thinking about money. But as I was saying, we're gonna see if it's possible for Kyle to get his old lifeguard job back. I mean, the way he left wasn't really ideal, but hey, let's just leave the past in the past. So here it is. Lifeguard, sunscreen, whistles, and the occasional shark are all a part of everyday life as a lifeguard. Love swimming, safety, and yelling at rambunctious children trying to drown each other. This is the part-time career for you. Unfortunately, the only positions they currently have are just entry level, and it says now hiring a CPR dummy stand-in for $33 an hour. We'd only have to work Monday, Thursday, and Wednesday, and this shift actually ends 1 hour after Ayla comes home, or we could do an evening shift, because in that way, if Ayla does go to university, Kyle can help out. So I don't know, should we do like a sunset or morning shift? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe morning, I guess, but I feel like university classes are in the morning. So we'll take the 5 p.m. shift right now, and if we have to change it later, I'm sure that won't be an issue. Congratulations, Kyle. Your application was approved, and you now are a CPR dummy stand-in at Slow Runners United. And his first shift is on Friday at 5 p.m. What is he drinking? What was that? Oh, little Jacob fell asleep on his playmat. I hope you guys don't think Kyle's helping out too much with Jacob. I mean, hypothetically speaking, he isn't paying rent, so it's kind of why he's here. But let's see what Jacob needs. So he's actually pretty good right now. I think what I'm gonna do is, I don't know, should we put him down here and let him play some more? Or, you know, maybe we can talk to Jacob and then we can bounce him too as well. Oh no, there's dust on our floor. Okay, we don't have a vacuum and I have bust into the dust enabled, so might have to like disable that because I don't have money for a freaking vacuum. And then, oh my god, I have no idea why, but Jacob's toy is out here on the sidewalk. I have no clue who put that out there. Ayla really wants to leave a note for somebody, and she still wants to have a child. That is what her heart longs for. Y'all have this wild idea. I don't know where you all get it from. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's because we're like 2 peas in the pod. But you were saying about him having like or Ayla having a science baby with Kyle. But if I'm being entirely honest, I'm not gonna lie. The idea is quite tempting, especially if that means that Ayla gets to have her baby. But also, I'm not quite sure that she wants to raise another child by herself, even though Kyle would want to be there, right? I don't think he's gonna go anywhere. It just seems a little far-fetched for her. She hasn't quite settled on that idea yet. Anyways, I just had Kyle go and kind of hustle this little dust bunny here for some simoleons, having them search for some valuables around the house. Ayla is currently reading a book while Jacob plays on his mat, and then Kyle is taking out another round of diapers, and he's also going to come back back and throw away some dust. Yeah, we're gonna throw away the dust. I need to actually get that broom mod back in because I feel like okay, what was the point of that? He had like two extra steps and then he would have been able to throw that away. But I was thinking Kyle needs to go out and he needs to bro. I don't know where he's gonna go, but I really feel like he wants to go out to a bar somewhere. He wants to do his thing because even though he loves being here with Ayla and Jacob, okay, at the end of the day, he's a single guy, right? He needs to breathe a little bit. And with tomorrow being the big day, I can absolutely see him wanting to maybe go blow some steam. The only thing is I don't really know where exactly I want him to go. So before it gets any later, I'm probably going to have to figure that out. I do want to come over here and check one more time on the status of our scholarships. Hang on, Ayla's scholarship status has just changed. We have been awarded $500 and now we're getting a phone call. I've called to inform you that your second once removed cousin's friend's grandpa has passed away and for some reason has left a vast fortune specifically to you. See, if it was any other sim, they would be like, give me the money now, but Ayla's very cautious. I wonder where Jacob gets it from. So she's gonna say, under what conditions? Well, there were some conditions, but one of the conditions was there would be no conditions if you asked if there were any conditions. So there are no conditions. Wait, right? Sometimes Ayla gets the weirdest phone calls and she thinks they're scams, very much like how she thought Kyle was maybe a scam. But she's on the phone with her dad and she's like, hey, so-and-so just called and said, you know, like this, that, and the third. And you guys know the dialogue basically. And Perry can't figure it out for the life of him either because pretty much all that Perry knows is that Ayla and him are the only family members of the Grovers left to exist. Anyway, long story short, we ended up getting 2,500 simoleons, which is kind of perfect and in the nick of time because we just got 500 simoleons to enroll in university, which means I think Ayla can actually enroll in class. I'm so freaking excited. So let's go over here. Okay. And let's apply to some universities. We have, well, quite a few simoleons and I don't want to spend all of them. It is $75 to apply, but okay. But I think $500 wasn't going to cover any classes either. I felt like that was a really small amount, but hopefully everything's going to work in her favor now. So Kyle is downstairs in his basement. He's playing some Party Frenzy. He needs some friends actually, so he has someone to play online with because he doesn't really he doesn't get out much. So Ayla's university application is on its way. The university will look over the application and mail the results back sometime in the next few days. Ayla may also check on her application status at any time on the computer. Way to go, Ayla. I'm very proud of her for making some damn moves. Well, it turns out I might be wrong about our dear pal Kyle after all. He might actually have a friend or at the bare minimum an acquaintance. So he decided to call up his long lost buddy Corey Berger. He currently works as a diver at Dive a Dozen and it kind of makes sense that they have like this long history considering they both grew up on the shores of Del Sol Valley. So they decided to head over to Patchy's and throw down some darts and just enjoy the night before they both have to go to work. Unfortunately, Kyle really sucks at darts and apparently Corey does too. So they are totally freaking teasing each other. I have no idea who is winning, but I noticed a very familiar face over here at the bar. It looks like Perry Grover is on the hunt for his girlfriend, and I really truly do hope that he actually ends up meeting somebody. So Kyle really wants to have a drink, and I think Corey also at one point shared the same sentiments, but he kind of gave up because this game, y'all, was getting super duper intense. So let's head over to the bar and get these boys something to drink. Freaking Eliza just decided mid-shift she wanted to quit, so I guess we'll have to put the drink on pause. I am going to turn on this little stereo. Let's listen to, I don't know, what should we listen to? Oh, they just did a little like bro, like not fist bump, but like hip bump, I guess. I don't know what the heck it's called. Let's do, we should rock out to some metal. That definitely sounds like a very like bro thing to do. So we'll have them listen to some metal. And oh, I wanted to show you guys another thing. Wait, let's backtrack a little bit. First and foremost, we're happy because we're hanging with the bros. It's always a good time when there are other bros in your proximity. Yes. Okay, we totally get it, Kyle. You're a bro until the day that you die. In fact, right now, he's such a bro. He's trying to impress his fellow bros by ordering a super duper expensive drink, one that we can't even afford because we haven't even gone to our first day of work yet. Eliza decided to come back because the benefits of Patchy's were just too good to pass up, but that is not what I wanted to share with you at all whatsoever. In fact, actually, what I wanted to share with you, well, I can't really make heads or tails of, so if I scroll down, you're gonna notice there's a lot of back back and forth between Ayla and Kyle on Social Bunny. So Ayla says, that pillow fight was euphoric. I feel like I'm glowing. Then Kyle hits back, in my hands, a pillow must be classified as a dangerous object. Pillow fighter. Here's the thing. I'm starting to think pillow is code for something. And then Ayla goes, lunch is a great time to make some friends. Who wants to be besties? I'm assuming she posted this when she stood late the other day at the Frothy Foamer. And 13 hours ago, Kyle goes, Ayla, listen to these old folks telling us they couldn't get out of the pool without a ladder. Hit the gym. For a split second, I was starting to think maybe some sneaky sneak was happening between them. But then I go into Kyle's messages and he totally just got friend zoned. It says, Kyle, I'm so happy to have a friend like you. And this happened 5 hours ago, which makes a lot of sense as to why maybe we're here having a very expensive drink we can't afford, because we need to water down the sadness that we feel. Right now, Kyle literally looks heartbroken, and I can't tell if it's because Joe Schmo over here just stole his $107 drink, or it's the fact that he suddenly sobered up and remembered that he just got friend zoned by a girl that he might end up liking. And also, okay, he just had a huge revelation in this moment that he too would like to have a child. Maybe it's all the time that he's been spending with Jacob. He realizes that maybe after all, he too would like to be a father someday. I don't know what it is or what's going on, but there are definitely some feels flying here tonight in Patchy's. Other than the fact we just had to follow a grown man into the bathroom and intimidate him into giving us our drink back, we're really enjoying this bro night out with Corey. Does this man, I'm sorry ma'am, just bros allowed. Does this dude have a freaking dart in his hands? Come on bro, learn the meaning of let it go. He's probably saying the exact same thing to Kyle. I'm not sure if I want to have one more drink, but we're gonna make it cheap this time. We're gonna order a round of EAPAs. That is like seriously my go-to drink in The Sims 4. I'm not even kidding. And it's this dude right here, Yusuf, that stole my freaking cocktail earlier and then went into the bathroom to try to hide it. I don't know what the heck was going on. You know, Kyle isn't really one to express his emotions and stuff, and even though he is thinking about the whole Ayla situation, he isn't gonna come out and talk to Corey, because Corey, even though he's kind of a nice guy, he doesn't really get like why Kyle lives with a grown woman and her kid. But it's not really for Corey to get, honestly. It's not really his business. But even though it isn't Kyle's place to invite Corey back to Ayla's, the dude's really tipsy, and we've been here for kind of a long time, and I would hate for him to, you know, have to drive back home under these circumstances. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little picture to remember this night by, because it's been fun. It's definitely been fun. And what I'm thinking is if we can get back to Ayla's house ASAP and have Corey gone by the morning, she won't even notice. Oh no, honey, believe me, she absolutely freaking noticed. Okay, so Ayla woke up this morning late for work in a frenzy, and obviously there's this hunk just chilling on her couch. She has had so many people sleep on this couch at this point. Like, I swear, this is like the communal couch. Anyways, she looks at Corey and she scoffs and she doesn't say anything, because that's just kind of how Ayla is. But she knows for 100% fact that this must be one of Kyle's friends, because he did text her last night while he was at Patchy's, letting her know where exactly he was. So Ayla just got back from work. She only made 33 simoleons because she was late for work. So now she is in the hole, which is unfortunate. She didn't make as much money as she would have liked to. So we're gonna have her come inside, take a bath. She was kind of hoping Corey would be gone, but again, awkward situation. She's not gonna say anything. Kyle is feeling really angry this morning from, Fury of the Trolls from a Social Bunny post. I have a feeling the real reason why Kyle has his boxers in a bunch isn't because of some troll on his Social Bunny account. It's actually the fact that Corey has shown interest in Ayla, and he wasn't expecting it. In fact, when Ayla walked out the door this morning, Kyle came upstairs to check if Corey was still there, and of course he was, but shirtless. And Corey goes, dude, like, why didn't you tell me the girl that you're roomied up with is a babe? Like, hook it up. And Kyle just said, nah man, nah, like can't do that, my dude, can't do that. And Corey's like, why? Do you have like a little crush on her? And of course Kyle is trying to play it cool, like, nah, like I don't, you know. But I think more than anything, Kyle realizing that Corey having interest in her, getting under his skin, is actually what is setting him off, because he didn't personally expect it. And I like how he's about to go nap on the couch. Anyways, Corey needs to take a hike, because at this point he is absolutely overstood his welcome. Ayla must have the patience of a complete and utter freaking saint, because it could not be me. If I let some dude post up in my house rent free and he brought over his homie and let him stay on my couch, we would be having it out. But with Ayla being the non-confrontational queen that she is, she just asked Kyle to let her know next time, because it was kind kind of weird to have some shirtless dude just sleeping on her cushions. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Jacob here, it kind of gives off the wrong impression. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking pissed, you guys. I freaking missed it, but I actually saw the animation. It was so cute. We unlocked the toe in mouth milestone. This was a new one for me. It says, wow, Jacob managed to stick his toe in his mouth. What a cute display of flexibility. I'm so happy that I put the lifespan along, because at this point, I feel like Jacob would have been a whole child with all the drama that Ayla currently is going through. I mean, she's not necessarily going through any drama per se, but there's just a lot of drama happening around her and she's kind of unaware. So let's just check out really quickly. Roll over to tummy milestone unlocked. Jacob has gained the ability to roll over onto his tummy. Now he will be able to start tummy time on his own to progress his gross motor milestones even further. Speaking of milestones, I think it is about time for us to actually check up on those. He is super duper hungry. I'm gonna have Ayla come over and feed him. I don't think he can sit in the high chair yet because we are still helping him. Oh my god, we're still helping him sit up. And hold on, excuse me, ... Why is Jonathan calling? It says, it's good to hear your voice, Ayla. I wanted to ask you if I should get to know Fabian Bayard a little bit better as a friend. Yeah, I think you should go for it. So I think Fabian might be one of their co-workers, and I mean, it's kind of weird that he's asking me for like my personal opinion. It's maybe because I'm such a great judge of character, I don't know, but either way, any excuse to talk to Jonathan, Ayla is totally down for. Whatever Ayla's doing, she's doing it well, because Jacob has a well cared for moodlet. I want to make sure that we are hitting those milestones, so let's just double check really quick. And actually, even though it doesn't feel like it, we're doing a pretty damn good job. We have a bunch of social milestones like first smile, we have learned to coo, learned to laugh, and learned to babble. Then for firsts, we have first visitors, first bath, and first bubble bath. For gross motor, we have lifted head, we have rolled over to back, and then obviously y'all just saw that he was able to roll over to his tummy. And then for fine motor, we have learned to reach, learned to grab, and then we have put toe in mouth. So hopefully we'll get to the point where Jacob will actually be able to start having some baby food, and it looks like he's going to be aging up in 15 days. Granted, that could very well change. You know, someone we haven't seen in a while, I mean, technically we saw him last night, but we haven't seen our dad. It'd be really nice to maybe invite him over tonight for like a little bit of dinner and have him hang out with Jacob. I do need to figure out this dust bunny situation really quick, because it is getting quite crazy in here. I could, hypothetically speaking, I could purchase a vacuum. I just don't know if I have like enough room to actually vacuum. I feel really bad stepping on the dust bunny. Please tell me I'm not the only one who feels bad stepping on them. Like, it literally breaks my freaking heart. So I had Ayla go and check the mail. I think we might have actually received something back from the university. I'm so nervous, but let's see what we got here. Okay, there's a letter. I think it's just our scholarship results, which we have already read, and it says, congratulations, Ayla won the scholarship Education for All, which was valued at $500. I don't mean to sound ungrateful or anything, but I was really hoping we would hear back from the freaking universities. I feel like the process when you're actually trying to get into a university takes forever. But Ayla's gonna lay Jacob down for his little mid-afternoon nap. We're gonna soothe him to sleep. I do want her to actually work on the crib and try to get that mobile installed. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, but I keep forgetting about for whatever reason. I'm gonna have her go and clean up the bathroom, because Kyle left a freaking puddle here. I think he missed the toilet when he was peeing. Speaking of which, she's gonna go and pee like a champion, and after that, let's have her come into the kitchen and start thinking about what she's gonna serve for lunch. But I wanted her to start thinking about dinner, and then obviously inviting over Perry, because it's been a while. Oh my god, speaking of Perry, that is so funny. I didn't call him or anything. He literally just showed up autonomously on our doorstep, which is awesome. Clearly, I was thinking about him while he was thinking about me. And just like I expected, my dad's like, Ayla, haven't you heard of a freaking moth? Ayla's so damn embarrassed, she doesn't even know what to say about the dust bunny, so she's just gonna laugh it off and pretend she didn't even hear him. Another thing that I want to do is I want to give Perry the residence keys, just because, you know, he is G-Paw after all. Kind of would make sense if he would have keys to the residence. And Kyle actually is starting his first day of work in about 15 minutes, and Perry's up here like, Ayla, what the hell is that downstairs? Why does it sound like there's an elephant in your basement? New family dynamic. Jokesters. Cue the punchline. Perry and Ayla just can't stop cracking each other up. It's always a hoot when these two are in the same room. Family members with a jokester dynamic will choose to perform funny or mischief interactions with each other more often, and they'll feel extra playful when spending time together. Would you describe the family dynamic between Perry and Ayla as being jokesters? I kind of find it ironic that this just popped up after I made that joke about the elephant in the basement. So I'm going to take that as a sign and say yes. It's already 5 o'clock, so we should definitely start thinking about what we want to do for dinner. I'm thinking I'm going to have Perry and Ayla cook together. I think that would be super duper sweet to see. I do wish that when you cooked with a sim with a higher level of cooking skill than yourself, that it would also take that into account. Like maybe you could get pointers from them. I think that would be really cool. But the options that we have are super freaking limited. I mean, the only thing that kind of makes sense is maybe like a grilled cheese or a whole wheat grilled cheese. I've never seen that before. This is literally the first time. Or we could make a faux meat Wellington. Hang on, Dad. What? Since we're family, it'd be really nice if I could move in with you. What do you think? Well, I'm kind of thinking now is not the right time. I'm sorry. I just think Perry really is worried about Ayla, the dust on the floor, the random happenings in her basement. After much deliberation, Ayla doesn't want Perry to move in with her right now. All I wanted to do, Dad, was make some faux meat Wellington. That's literally all I wanted to do. Now that I think about it, I don't think Perry wanted to move in with Ayla. I think he was suggesting that Ayla actually moves back in with him. Jonathan just called and he says, I heard there's a talent showcase going down at the lounge. Let's go and embarrass ourselves. You just had to pick tonight, Jonathan. You just had to pick tonight. Seriously. Poor Ayla is having her cola handed to her left and freaking right. Where is that faux meat Wellington? I like how she shoved it in her inventory and was like, I'm sorry, Dad, I'm not sharing this with you, but we're gonna have them grab a little serving together. And as much as it hurts Ayla for turning Jonathan down, hopefully he'll take a rain check. That was really bold of him. Y'all didn't see Kyle in his little Speedo, but it was definitely a sight for sore eyes. Also, he's feeling super duper uncomfortable because clearly he didn't sleep very much last night because he was too busy partying harding Apaches with Corey. Speaking of which, here's the photo that we took last night, and as you can expect, those two were a complete and utter shit show because they had too much to drink. And now Ayla is checking in on little Jacob. Let's take him out of the crib so that Perry can spend a few minutes with him, and then while he is keeping him, oh my god, Dad, I'm sorry, okay? Like, what is it that he's going in on her for? Let's put him over here. We'll have Perry watch him, and I'll come back over and I'm going to start the upgrades on the baby mobile. We're going to just do space because that kind of seems like the general theme in here. I'm kind of getting annoyed with Perry, and I've never felt that way even in the early access videos. I think he's the reason why Ayla feels so insecure about what she's capable of, because even though Perry comes from the best intentions, I'm starting to get the impression that Perry is a helicopter dad. Anytime and every time things would get hard for Ayla, he would come in and bail her out, thus leading to the self-doubt that we've been seeing within her, and it really makes my heart break. So I hope that she's able to finally step away from that. But hey, on another note, we did complete the mobile and it actually looks pretty damn good. Oh my goodness, and Jacob seems to really like it too. This man right here almost gave your girl a freaking heart attack. I could not find Kyle for the longest time, and then I looked down and I noticed that there was a tree in his queue. This guy must have had way too much fun on his first day as a lifeguard because he passed out in the freaking tree house. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have built him a whole freaking basement. Speaking of which, I did do a couple little renovations to make it, you know, just a little bit nicer. But I think he might be okay, a little wasted. And Jacob is still up. He was supposed to be sleeping. I guess this mobile didn't work, but we're gonna come in here and spend a little bit of time with him because he hasn't seen his favorite buddy. We're gonna feed the little man a quick bottle. We'll just pretend, hypothetically speaking, it's some breast milk. And that, my friends, is what Kyle Kyleson looks like in his Speedo. Well, it's not really a Speedo, but those are some pretty damn tight shorts. Ayla just woke up 20 minutes ago, and the very first thing she did was bolt to her computer to check her email. And y'all, we got accepted to not one university, but to the University of Brightchester and the Foxbury Institute, which is kind of crazy because Ayla did not think that she would be accepted to any universities, let alone both of them. So here are the different types of degrees that we can pursue. Right off the bat, my eyes are going to language and literature, which kind of narrows it down to which university we will be attending to, and it looks like the Foxbury Institute is going to be our choice. One would think after receiving news like that Ayla would be jumping up and down for joy, but for some reason she still feels like this little pull at her heartstrings. She is experiencing some hesitation, almost as if she doesn't want to enroll, and I think I need to give this girl a little push. She's feeling so nervous right now because this would mean less time with Jacob and more time she would have to focus on her studies, and everything right right now just feels so overwhelming, and she can't bring it to herself to ask Kyle to watch him while she's at university, but she might actually have to. Anyways, I think this is a really good stopping point because, like I said, Ayla has a lot to think about, and you guys can give me your feedback in the comments. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode here. I hope that you all enjoyed, and if you did, you know what to do, boo. Don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, where the sun does not shine, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty hands.